Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Radha Sham Sundar Radha Sham Sundar Radhe Jayo Jagannathaya Jayo Baladeva Jayo Subhadra Nityaya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nityaya Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada ki Jai. So I'm sharing my screen. All devotees, can you see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I assigned the shloka 1850. And so I will read this shloka and translation and the purport. I'll ask any two devotees, please, based on availability, please take it and then read after me. Siddham prapto yatha brahmo tatha panoti nibodhame samasene vakanteyo Nishta Jnanashya Para. Synonymous. Siddham, perfection. Prapta, achieving. Yatha, as. Brahma, the supreme. Tatha, so. Apanuti, one achieves. Nivodya, try to understand. Me, from me. Samasena, similarly. Eva, certainly. Kanteya, O son of Kunti. Nishta, the stage. Jnanasya, of knowledge, which para transcendental. Any two devotees wants to go, please read the shloka.
Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tathapneti nibodhame samaseneva eva konteya nishta jnanasya para.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Anyone else, please?
सिद्धिं प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्मा तथा नोति निबुद्धामि समासेनैव कुन्तेय निस्ताज्ञानस्य para.
Thank you so much, Asiskana Prabhu. Some background sound. So, plus translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage, Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. Purport by His Divine Grace Prabhupada. The Lord describes for Arjuna how one can achieve the highest perfectional stage simply by being engaged in his occupational duty. Performing that duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains the supreme stage of Brahman simply by renouncing the result of his work for the satisfaction of supreme law. That is the process of self-realization. The actual perfection of knowledge is in attaining pure Krishna consciousness that is described in the following words. So let's pray to Prabhupada and Guru Parampara so we can try to understand this, the Goyam knowledge, and I'll try to share as per the capacity and limited mind and limited knowledge. Om Ajanam Yajnanam Tamirandakshaya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Shapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Yena Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapadakamlam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Shagana Raghunatha Ventam Tam Sajivam Shavidvetam Savadustam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Shri Lalita Shri Vishakha Vintam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanto Sri Radha Kanto Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rashabhanu Shute Devi Pranamamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarvasya Kripa Sindhubhyo Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Seva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So let's try to understand here what the Krishna trying to say to Arjun through the Srila Prabhupada. Here translation says that, O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage, Brahman, a stage of highest knowledge by acting in the way I shall now summarize. So here Krishna himself telling to Arjun, saying that learn from me. He's not saying learn from somebody else. So we should learn this knowledge from the authentic person. And Krishna here emphasizing, saying the perfectional can attain the supreme perfectional stage, Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge. To understand the Brahman is the highest knowledge by acting in the way I shall now summarize. So see the purport. To Lord describe for Arjun how one can achieve the highest perfectional stage simply by being engaged in his occupational duty. So see please the point that here Krishna here saying that simply by doing the occupational duty, we should not do anything else, just to do our occupational duty. The second point, performing the duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever we do, the purpose is only Supreme Personality of Godhead. Second point. Third point, one attain the supreme stage of Brahman simply by re-announcing the result of his work for the satisfaction of Supreme Law. Third point is that the re-announce your result. Whatever we do, our occupational duty, and then in our occupational duty, we should take the Krishna as the center. And second, give your all the results satisfaction to Supreme Lord. That is the process of self-realization. The actual perfection of knowledge is in attaining pure Krishna consciousness that is described in the following word. So, dear devotee, we should consider here the 3 points, which is Prabhupada writing in the many places in Srimad Bhagavatam. First, we should do our occupational duty. Even Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, if we refer the sloka number 244. I'm just reading the translation. 244 and Krishna says that here, 244, Krishna first saying that, I'm reading the translation, in the mind of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulences, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. First thing here, Krishna saying that whoever too attached, for whom the sense enjoyment, they are fully engaging in the sense enjoyment, and they try to just the material opulences, and they want to sense enjoyment separate from Krishna. For them, the Supreme Lord does not take any place. The devotional service of the Supreme Lord does not take any place. So those kind of person never engage in the devotional service, who are just engaging in the sense enjoyment. And now Krishna says that now we see that sloka number 245 and 246. Krishna again raising the Arjun, saying that Triyagunna Visaya Veda Nisto Gunna Bhavarjuna Niravando Nitya Sattasto Nirayoga Cheman Atmavan. Now, next advice is that the Vedas deal mainly with the subject of 3 modes of material nature. O Arjun, become transcendental to these 3 modes, be free from all dualities and from all anxieties, for gain safety and be established in self. So how do we do that? We have to come out from 3 modes of material nature. And next sloka here, Krishna saying that now duty Prabhupada here writing, so I'm referring that 247, which is very famous sloka. Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachina ma karam phal hetu bhur ma te sangostu karmani. So here Prabhupada also giving that do your duty, prescribed duties. Here Krishna, what the Krishna is saying, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of results of your activities, and never be attached not to doing your duty. Here we see the Prabhupada giving. The Lord described Arjuna how one can achieve highest perfection stage simply by engaging in occupational duty. And here Krishna is saying that how we should do our occupational duty. We should do our prescribed duty, but not to entangle with the fruitive results. And because of the results, we should not ignore or avoid doing our duty. We should do our duty. We cannot avoid, okay, this result is not good, then why should I do this act? No, we should do our duty. And see the next sloka, next paragraph. Perform that duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whatever we do, we should do the pleasure for Krishna. And the next sloka even say that Krishna 248. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyakta dhananjayo siddha siddhyo samo bhutva samatam yoga uchyate. The translation, perform your duty equipoised, O Arjun, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. So here Krishna will emphasizing this point, how we should do our duty, consider the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Saint. Krishna is the ultimate, the achiever of our results. Is the ultimate Bhogeshwarya. One attains the supreme stage, Brahman, simply by re-announcing result of his work, satisfaction for Supreme Lord. Just read. So how we should do our act. So here this the doing the act or doing our duty is the art. How we should learn this art? By the Acharyas follow their footsteps. Even I remember that one time Prabhupada giving the class, and in the class some devotee attracted by the some personalities came. They know the magician music, not the music. The magician means like a jadoo. They do like the jadoo kind of things, and they know the it kind of like the possible jadoo. Like some can walk in the fire, can fly, or can walk top of the water. That kind of things. That is categorized in 8. So they do that kind of act and they try to attract the devotees. They came to Prabhupada and Prabhupada asked them and they told the Prabhupada, whatever you do, we see the outside, so many, some people are there and they are advertising like they can generate the gulab jamun or they can, the disappear of the person or they're generating, making the jalebi kind of that, they're doing that kind of the jadoo. And Prabhupada did not, focus on that. Kind of Prabhupada knows that the devotees are attracted that kind of wisdom. But then those personality came to Prabhupada and they asked Prabhupada, what you do, we do these things. And then Prabhupada says that, okay, tell me whatever you are doing. Is it possible then doing this act, these jadus, then why you are begging? If you can make jalebi, you can make banana, this and that, then why you don't generate yourself and eat and live on that? Why you are begging then? Because you are trying to attract the people. That's only your purpose to make money. But doing this act, and even some devotee says to Prabhupada, this person can go in the water and then cross the one place to other place just inside the water. Then Prabhupada says that just to not to attract. Prabhupada knows what to say and at what stage to say. Then Prabhupada says that just to cross the water one shore to other shore, just the cost that time 25 cents. Just to save the 25 cents, why we should spend so much energy, so much time, because the life is very valuable. Just to save 25. This act can be done by the just something, take help of pay the boat 25 cents and then you can cross. So Prabhupada knows that. Then Prabhupada asks them, okay, whatever you do, can you solve the problem? I am the old person, can you make me young? Then say, no, we cannot do that. Then Prabhupada say that, okay, I have some old person have a disease. This all jadoo tona. Can you fix somebody's problem permanent? Then say no. Then Prabhupada says that I know the better jadoo than you. That my jadoo can solve the problems for this life as well as many, many lives. Then Prabhupada says that, see by my own the magic or my jadoo, see all the British, the Western people, they are chanting and dancing for the name of Krishna. And by the Krishnas doing all this act, then Prabhupada referred the sloka to them. The sloka number is all we know that the 4-9. 4-9 say, Karam cha Janam Karam cha me divyam. Prabhupada says that the Krishna himself saying that just to know my act, just to know my pastime, just do know my glories. What the benefit? Punar janamna vidyate. they never takes birth again in this material world. That's the jadoo I'm doing. I'm delivering them from the take the birth again, death again, become old again, become disease again. So I'm solving all the problems. That's why I'm doing this jadoo. But whatever you do, your magic or jadoo have no value. So that's why the Prabhupada saying that here, the Krishna consciousness, this is the most important. We should become the Krishna consciousness. How we become Krishna consciousness? Follow the Prabhupada instructions. Follow the Prabhupada, the process, sublime, whatever the Prabhupada give us. Janam karam che de me vyam. Yukta, what is like I call it? 9. Yeah. So here Prabhupada giving the example to knowing the Krishna's activity, Krishna's pastime. Just we are solving the problems in this life as well as fixing for forever. And the next incident, I remember that the Prabhupada writing here, I make some notes from the lecture. And then we remember that here, like Prabhupada writing one example and saying that like the child and lives under the protection of parents, he's happy. The moment he goes out, become independent, then suffering starts. We see in our day-to-day life also, like when child is small, the parents knows that what time we need to feed him and what he needs that. The child becomes slowly grown up and then become independent, and then problem starts because he's thinking, I'm the freedom now. I'm free. I can do, I know my problems, I can solve my problems. That's why parent he wants to go away from the parents and then start suffering. Same thing Prabhupada saying that Krishna is our the father, the parents. He knows that what we need. But the moment we become independent and we try to solve our own problems, our own way, then the suffering starts. So what the solution? Because here Prabhupada is saying that thinking that the child, he is with his parents, but somehow or other he lost in the male or fair. And then he start crying. And somebody comes to him and saying that, oh, take this, take the sweet, take this, or take the money. The child temporarily become quiet and then again start crying because he needs his parents. He doesn't need money and this and that. That's where then somebody comes and say, okay, I will leave you with your parents. Somebody come and picked up the child and drop near to their parents. So then child become satisfied and stops crying. Same our situation. When we separated from the Krishna, and that's where we are crying. We see the pleasure and we are all looking the pleasure. Sometimes we got stuck money, sometimes we got stuck this and that, and then we feel, okay, this is the happy. Then we temporarily we stay with the things, even like you take the anyway the car or house or something. For a few months, few years, you like that. And again, you start unliking or displeasure. So because we don't know a real father, we are not trying to go a real father. That's the problem. Somebody comes and tell us, hey, this is the way you can become pleased or you can be happy. Just go with your father. But the moment we are separated here, then our father, where our father lives? Vaikuntha. It's a Vaikuntha Jagat, which is opposite to material world. The Krishna himself saying that this is Dukhalaya Shaswatam. This is a suffering place. Everyone here has to be die day one. Everyone are suffering here. But then how to stop the suffering? Stop the suffering only by the Prabhupada here saying that the realizing. How to be realized? The realizing process Prabhupada gave. We should do follow the power regulative principles in chanting. And by that only our act, when we do our that prescribed duties, and we should not entangled with our results offered to Krishna, and that's where Krishna become satisfied. When Krishna is satisfied, that is called real self-realization. To our understanding that, like for example, the body. The body, even the hand, leg, or every body part is working. But the ultimate, the hand takes the food, put in the mouth, and goes to the stomach. Stomach is the center place which can satisfy each and every body part, because food goes in the stomach, digest, and energy circulated to entire body. So the entire body is satisfied. Why the body is satisfied? Because the entire body knows the center place is the stomach. So the hand nicely cooperate, put the food in the mouth, leg nicely cooperate, walk, put the action, hand take action, put the food, and then entire body satisfied. Same thing, whatever act we do, we should the Krishna keep in the center. When Krishna is satisfied, then everything is satisfied by default. There is no sunset, there is no doubt. And just to sharing one story, I have one the points also, like Prabhupada writing, or the devotee also sharing in the video, saying that like the four people carrying one of the dead person. And they're singing, like generally in India, we see the Ram Nam Satya. And the one of the child going with his father. And he's asking, Father, what they are doing? Why they are carrying one people on their shoulders and the rest of force and others are chanting the Ram Nam Satya. Then father says, replied, my child, one person who is cannot chant because he's dead, and others are chanting. So from that story, the moral Prabhupada is saying that whoever not chanting the glories of the Lord, though they are lived, they are alive, their body can walk, but they simply are dead. They are not more than better than the dead body. The whoever chanting, but actually they are the living personalities. They are the actual, they know the purpose of their life, and they know that's why they do the chanting and appreciate the God. And Prabhupada is saying that because we don't appreciate the God, because we are so selfish, thinking that if for few seconds, if Krishna stops supplying the air, the oxygen, can anybody in the world save us? No. Our leg and hand is working. Asking the people whose leg and hand is not working, how they are useful, how they are the mercy of Krishna. Body is acting nicely, so we should serve nicely. That is the way to purify our consciousness. The moment we become or we are thinking, oh, our hands is not working, I should do the service that time. We should not go in that direction. We should satisfy the Krishna always. This is called Krishna consciousness. So here's Srila Prabhupada saying that we should be in the Krishna consciousness, not the consciousness of other the magic or jadoo or this and that tana and all this. This is all temporary. They are binding back again here only. But here see the actual perfection of knowledge is attaining pure Krishna consciousness. Here Arjuna also asking, we see the previous sloka, Krishna himself saying that the mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance, how the bhakti looks like in mode of goodness, the beginning is very hard, but end result is very nice. Same thing, mode of passion, they are thinking the beginning bhakti, like without bhakti, life is so easy, they enjoying, but the end result is very bad. And for the ignorant or the mode of ignorance, for them, there are no value. So same thing, even Krishna saying that to Arjun himself, the second, the the second chapter, Triyagunya Veda. Hey Arjun, come out from all three gunan of material nature. Where to go? To the transcendental nature, which is the real nature. And the Vedas, whatever the Vedas leading us only the conclusion, just do the three modes of material nature. Okay, do the good, you will get the good result. If you do bad, you will get this one. So all the Vedas telling the Parampanda. But the Bhagavad Gita, I say that Vedanta, where the Ved is ending, the Vedanta starts. The Vedanta teaching the bhakti, the knowledge, devotional service. How we can raise our consciousness through the devotional service only. So we see the next, the solution, Krishna saying that is described in the following verses. In the following verses, Krishna himself saying that how the personalities looks like who are self-realized or who are trying to, to understand their self-realization process. Those, they have some symptoms. Even we see that Prabhupada writing the further how they're controlling their senses, they are purifying their mind, and they have they don't speak too much, they don't speak unnecessary. That is already Bhaktartamrita Sindhu also telling us that. The symptoms of the like Bacho Vegam, Manasa Vegam, Krodha Vegam. These are the symptoms of the self-realized person who has a full control on the belly, full control on eyes, full control of mind, eyes, and all the senses and tongue. That is called full self-realized person. He speaks whatever required. He eats whatever the need for the body. He sees whatever the satisfy for the eyes, like a Krishna Leela. He listening the glories of Krishna. So he using the entire body like a 2 years given to hearing the glories of the Krishna. Tongue is given to glorify the Krishna more and more. That's where our scriptures are the parampara and the acharya says that we should have 1,000,000 tongues to satisfy, to glorify Krishna. So that is called our parampara. We are in that parampara. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that what is the purpose of the living entity? Only to the real self-realized. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that ये ब्रह्म ते कौन भाग्यवान जीव गुरु कृपा कृष्णा प्रसादे पाए भक्ति लता बीज. That is called actually real, the lucky person. But in the material platform, they are thinking lucky the person who has big house, big car, big family, nice family, this and that. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the lucky person who is that Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Beej. That is called real lucky person. And just to sharing one more point, the devotee was sharing that here all we like in the whatever we are doing here, the perfectional comes through the bhakti only. Without professional, all we are doing is drama. Like in the drama, somebody playing the role, like when we some drama, like do this character Sudama, or become the Krishna's mother or father, or that kind of drama we do. Same thing we do the here drama in the family. Whatever the family we got based on our karma, like if somebody become father, mother, child, all are doing it actually the drama. Somebody's role is over and then going back, and somebody's role maybe come after some time. We see our parents also left, and their parents also left, and day one we will also left. But are we living with the self-realized mode, or are we living with the ignorant mode? That is only our choice. But the nature, nobody can escape the nature. The time is very, very powerful. So we should take this bhakti very seriously. We should not become ignorant, and we should do our duty also same time. We cannot ignore our duty. That's why the engage in your duty, how to do? Keep the Krishna in the center. That is the way we can satisfy the entire things when Krishna is satisfied, because Krishna is ultimate bhoktara. And other than that, nobody is bhoktara. But the The moment we satisfy the Krishna, how we can satisfy Krishna? Satisfy the Guru. Once Guru satisfied, then Krishna also satisfied. That's why we say Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada Yasya Prasada Nagata Kutopi. Once Guru is satisfied, 100% Krishna will satisfy. If Guru is not satisfied, there is no way we can think that Krishna will satisfy. So we should accept the Guru's instructions, heart and soul, and we should act accordingly. 749. And dear devotee, please feel free or add or comments if I say something wrong, because I'm also learning with you. Hare Krishna. We have just 10 minutes more. Any comments or any add or remove which I say something wrong, please feel free to add here. Don't be shy, just sharing your realization also. So all we can get benefit from the realization.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada.
So you mentioned that if Krishna is satisfied, that's everything. So how do we make sure that Krishna is satisfied? Like, what are the procedure? Like, what are the steps that we can take and make
very
sure
nice
that Krishna
question,
is satisfied?
Like how Krishna will satisfied.
Yeah.
We know the chanting, reading the scriptures, associate with the devotees, offer your food to Krishna, and be nice with everybody, thinking that the Supreme Personality as a super soul lives inside everybody. We should give the respect to everybody. And if you have a Guru Prabhu, take the instructions from your Guru. Else Krishna giving the here associated with the devotees, ask them Guru and Shastra and association.
Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you.
This is the key. Like, Prabhu, if you want to check yourself, you should have some manual, right? To follow the things you are doing correctly or not.
Right.
Same way, this is the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, scriptures, and the devotee association. This is all the manual, the chanting. We should keep on checking with them. And these are few things like as I mentioned, that offer your food to Krishna just with the tulsi leaf, associate with the devotees, keep on chanting, call the Vaishnava in your home, offer the prasadam. This is a basic thing which we should do.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Is it answer, Prabhu? Or?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Good. Very
Thank
good.
you. Anyone wants to sharing their realization, please feel free. We have just 6 minutes more.
Prabhuji, you have said very clearly and we understood, and whatever we have our knowledge, we can offer the Krishna and get our renunciation or getting our liberation that way.
Yeah, Mataji, you want to say something else, Mataji, more or?
No, somebody can say anything.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Liberation, Mataji, is not a big deal for Krishna. Krishna Katha is enough, Krishna Leela is enough, and devotee association is enough to get the liberation.
Okay.
Krishna Katha is enough to get the liberation. Just we should think how to satisfy Krishna, how to attach more Krishna. The renunciation, all this by default. Like Mataji, fire, right? You no need to generate the heat in the fire, which is already the part of the heat. Wherever the heat, where the fire is there, heat is by default. So Krishna Katha and Krishna Leela by default has a liberation.
Okay.
Just we need to attract them.
Mm-hmm.
You should not put the separate endeavor to get the liberation.
Mm-hmm.
Just to satisfy Krishna, the liberation is by default.
Thank you, making me understand this. I was not understand that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because Krishna Katha and Leela so pure.
Hare Krishna, brother.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Dhanva pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, on the same note, when people talk about liberation versus, being a devotee of Krishna and, always ask for going back to Godhead. So what happens? I mean, I'm just trying to get to know what happens when one gets liberated. Why is people thinking about liberation and not?
Yeah, Prabhu, like the why we try to get the liberation, what we will do after get liberation.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you want to add something here, Prabhu? Or should I reply?
No, yeah. Please go ahead. Sorry.
So the liberation, Prabhu, we try to serve the Krishna. Like once you, the actual liberation, like for the child to live with the parents, right? He become happy. Why he live with the parents? Because he becomes happy. So the actual liberation go back to our real home and live with our real father. Because we are separated. That's why we are suffering. So the actual liberation to understand our relationship with the Krishna and serve him nicely. Once you have the relationship, you understood your position, then you can serve nicely. There is no other way. So for the devotee, liberation also here. If we serve nicely Krishna, for devotee, no matter here or in Vaikuntha Loka. We remember that the Acharya Bhakti Vinod Thakur, the Sharanagati, he says that for devotee, even Krishna, you give me the birth, the dog in the devotee's house, I don't mind. What we need to just to listen the Krishna Katha. So all we want to get the liberation to understand the Krishna, to serve him nicely. If we do the here itself, we understand our position, then this part of Prabhupada says that one time some devotee asking Prabhupada how to get liberation. Prabhupada says that you already liberated because you all are engaged in the Krishna Katha. Even we remember that the Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto, second chapter, 17 sloka, Sravanatam Swakatha Krishna, Punya Sravan Kirtanam, Hardayam Tasto Avadrani, Vivanoti Sruti Satam. It means the Krishna Katha, why we hear in the Krishna Katha? To purify our heart. Heart is purified, mind is purified, then this is liberation. The liberation is nothing to understand the real position and get fixed into that. Is it answer, Prabhu?
I was understanding a liberation means no birth and no death. You liberate from that birth and death cycle.
Yeah, Mataji, when we hear the Krishna Katha, that by default, the we liberated. That's why Krishna says that to Arjun, Janam Karam Cha Me Divyam. Yukta Janam Karam Cha Me Divyam. I forgot the last line.
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो वेत्ति तत्वता
Tyagtadeyam Punarjanma Nameti So Nameti.
ओ अर्जुन.
So here Krishna's promise that to listen my Leela, my Janam and Karma. Hey Arjun, living upon this body, there is no birth again. It's called liberation.
Mhm.
But for the liberation, what condition? Hearing the Krishna Katha attracted to them. That's where the Janam Karam Cha Me Divyam. Understand Krishna's Janma and Karma. Why Krishna comes here, why this Leela Krishna is doing, attracts toward them. And then this is called liberation.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Satyama Mataji, reminding me that I forget the third line.
No problem, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for very nicely explained. Yeah, in one of the katha, maybe Lalgoin Prabhuji's katha or somewhere. So liberation is a state of mind. Like wherever you are in Vaikuntha, you are in Goloka, or you are on the earth. Your state of mind is like spiritual. When you are listening katha, hearing pastimes and glorifying Lord's pastimes. So our heart releases that nectar, right? And our mind gets purified. Our heart gets purified. And we don't have that anxieties and other things like material things what we have. Birth and death, we say in this on the earth, birth, death, old age and diseases. So even if we have that, still we have like very recently we saw that His Holiness Kadambakanan Maharaj, he was suffering so much, but still because his state of mind is already liberated. That's why we can see he is suffering, but still he was inside totally liberated. That kind of state is called liberation. So wherever we are doesn't matter. Liberation is not like our soul will go here and there. Even on the earth also, we can get liberated if we are totally, our mind is totally focused in the devotional service of Lord. That I heard in one katha.
Yeah, but thank you, Mataji, for sharing it. That's true, Mataji. We see that anyway, the body problem never go, Mataji. The body has this problem, that problem. But we comes out from that. Mataji, just I refer the sloka before, if you remember the class. Krishna himself saying that 248, Yogastha Kuru Karmani, Sangam Tyakta Dhananjaya, Siddha Siddho Samo Bhutta, Samatvan Yoga Uchate. This is the yoga. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjun, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga.
Yeah.
So this is called the yoga, the state of mind, because mind is only the worst enemy and the best friend.
Mm.
If our mind is purified, because it's the whole process to purify the minds. That's why Prabhupada says that somebody saying that, Prabhupada, you are doing the brain wash. Prabhupada says that, yes, we do the brain wash because brain is completely become dirty.
Mm.
Once brain is become washed, once brain become purified, understand its position and to relationship with Krishna, that is called Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. And we are so fortunate, like our dear Prabhupada gave such a nice since morning to night, like starting from Japa, Bhagavatam class, and then we prepare bhoga, then we offer, we release that prasad, our household things, and so many temple programs, everything like all devotional service and evening Bhagavad Gita class, again Krishna book, And really, means it's continuously we are in that mood. So that is, it's already liberation. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
it's giving you happiness, bliss.
But this attraction not come so easy, Mataji.
Yeah, that's very true. But at least we have that morning to evening.
Yeah.
That so we are thinking continuously about it. I know in this material world it's not easy because Maya is so powerful. It attracts so quickly. But still our consciousness is in this mode. We are having prasadam only. We are having association of good devotees. Saturday, Sunday also earlier before ISKCON, I used to search for what to do, going here and there, party and for sightseeing and all that. But now we have so many things at temple or somebody's home, and we are in good association. Kirtan is going on, prasadam, chanting, and having good conversation about the Lord's glory. So its life is totally changed, Prabhuji. Means before ISKCON and now it's really good. Means we, at least we feel happy.
That's called Prabhupada's mercy, Mataji. Prabhupada knows that how to conditioned become unconditioned.
Very true, Prabhuji. We
Hare
should.
Krishna.
Can you send me for Katha, Bhagavad Katha classes going on every day, which I don't know? Can you send me the information?
Yeah, Lalgon Prabhuji, Mataji, Stama Mataji can send you.
Yeah, I can send you, Mataji. I have all the kathas
Yeah.
there. I will send you.
I'm Neeru, so you can.
Yeah, we meet at the temple, Mataji. We sit at the front side. You other day you were talking to me. I don't know your name. Yeah.
So if you can send me information for Katha, so I
I will.
can do classes.
Today only I will send it to you. Now
Okay,
only.
you can send me on chat box so I can get it right away.
Sure.
Hare
That is
Krishna.
the power of Katha. Yes, Prabhuji, please. Head,
Hare
please. I'm
Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept
lucky
humble
to
obeisance.
go.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Prabhu, if I can share something on liberation, there are 5
Yes,
types
please
of
go ahead.
liberation, and it all depends on the person's intent. So, there is the basic liberation, which the jnanis get, which is the merging with the Supreme and the Brahman, Sayujya Mukti. So that is, you can look at it as level 0. However, that kind of a liberation is the lowest because after the pious credits are over, the jiva again gets back into the cycle of birth, old age, disease, death. Then the next one is, if you add one more step to it, is the what they call the Salokya Mukti. So the Salokya Mukti is that you get the form of Narayan, with his 4 hands holding the Shankh, Gada, Chakra, and the lotus flower. So their appearance, and in the Vaikuntha Lok they reside. Yeah, of course, the only difference is, the distinguishing factor is that Narayan has the Shrivastha mark on his chest. Then higher than that is the Samipya, which means the soul is always in the company of Krishna, never separated. And the example is Arjun. So whenever Bhagwan comes in his avatar, his incarnation, the devotees who are in the Samipya Mukti accompany him. Or like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, they're never separated. So that is one level higher. Then higher than that is the Sharshti Mukti, where all the opulences, exact same opulences as Krishna himself. He has the 6 major opulences. And one is as good or as powerful as Krishna, but of course not equal to Krishna. So the example is Bali Maharaj, and Vamandev gave him the Sutala planet, and he was having the exact opulences like the Lord. However, the point to note is that bhakti is greater than mukti. So just simply, is just surrendering to Krishna. You transcend all this. No need to go to the forest, no need to do austerity, penances, and dhyana or whatever else it is. Very simple. Like what Bilva Mangal Thakur said in one of his bhajans, I don't know the Sanskrit, but the essence is that for a devotee, mukti stands before him with folded hands. But a devotee doesn't even care. No matter where I am, let me always be serving you, dear Krishna. Like Prabhupada's prayer on Jalduta, I'm a puppet in your hand. Like Mahaprabhu's Shikshashtakam, no matter how you treat me, I am yours. So that is the highest bhakti. And it is simply by understanding, I am a servant. Jivera Swarupoe Nityara Krishna Das, Krishnera Nitya Das. That itself is like what Mataji was saying, liberated. The consciousness. And with what intent we go, with that intent, Krishna grants it to us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for adding that. Even we see that, we heard that even the scriptures also, the mukti is the dasi of bhakti. So the mukti is the dasi of bhakti. So the bhakti is highest. Just keep on doing bhakti. We should not think separate of the mukti. This is the by default in the bhakti. Lalwan Prabhu says that always the mukti is the doorkeeper of bhakti. Anyone else devotee wants to add something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam, all goes to Sri Prabhupada. So, yeah, thank you Prabhuji, nicely explained.
Yeah, I tried, Prabhu. I'm also learning. I tried.
Yeah, so I think it's really, because we always think, we have to get liberation and right, we have to go somewhere, right, out of this material world. So somewhere, there is a spiritual world beyond this. So we have to get liberation from this material world and just go there, right? That's what we've been told that there is a liberation is the highest goal. But I think the Mataji also said, Satyabhama Mataji. So it's not like only in the end we just get liberation, but somebody who is right here in the material world, very much one may be liberated already, right? Because he is saying what are the bliss and everything in him. He's in true Krishna consciousness, and then he is fully surrendered to the Lord. And I think all the activities that he perform is already liberated, right? That's really profound. And I just want to ask one point also, Prabhuji. So again, our mind, we read scriptures, we get this knowledge, we talk so much about the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan, and also Vaikunta, right? The spiritual planets, right? So it's for a material mind, it's very difficult to contemplate on the spiritual planet. So we always think from the material mind standpoint that, okay, this is a physical world. We are an earth planet, but then it always thinks in that geographic point of view, okay, is that somewhere else, right? It's beyond this material world, but means maybe it's far, far, far away, right? That is the kind of a thinking, material mind will have. But I was just wondering, is that really true, or is it really, the spiritual world is really within us? It's not so far, far away, but rather it is actually within us. The spiritual world is right here within us. So when we chant the name, Lord's name, and if we can feel that, that means it's not somewhere we have to go. It's right here within us, right? So I'm just wondering, is this line of thinking correct? To see that, the spiritual world is something within us, not somewhere outside and far away. Hare Krishna.
I think I'll try, but Amritanand Prabhu or Mr. Prabhu can give the more detail. Prabhu, even Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, I'm referring the sloka 241. Vivasayatmaka buddhi ekah kurunandana bahusakhantasya bahuda vivasayatmaka. Krishna himself saying that those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of Guru, the intelligence of those who are is resolute in many branched. This is Prabhu, like our mind is so polluted, but how to fix that? Ekah Kornanda. Once the mind is fixed in the Krishna's bhakti, then the whatever you said, that is within here also, and after the going from there also. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned that, I remember exactly the location of the Vaikuntha Loka, the distance of the location. If you think that perspective, the geographically this is different. But how to attain that same stage here itself, that the state of mind, Mataji mentioned, even Krishna saying that that this sloka which I referred now, in the many slokas, even Krishna mentioned that, like 247, karmane ekavadikaraste, how to duality trend our mind like the duality is nothing. This is the state of mind. When become the equipoised in the distress, happiness, like Krishna even give the example, seasons go and comes, and the problems comes and goes. But how to retain that, live the equipoised, that called equanimity. That is called the real yoga. So we can feel and achieve here itself also. And after the whatever the state of mind we go, we can go whatever the Prabhupada also mentioned, that how to go there and engage in Krishna's service, we can realize that point also. And just to adding that, Sagar Prabhu, one point, that Kadmakanand Maharaj, the last lecture, 14 minutes lecture, he mentioned this point. If you listen this lecture or not, I'm not sure. He was saying, whatever I see unheard, whatever the unheard, the ceremonies welcome for me, unheard and unseen. So that state of mind, he could see the Vaikuntha Loka, how the waiting for him is happening there, how the big celebration waiting for him there. So that only once mind purified, we can feel here, and we can see that Dusra Jagat means the Vaikuntha Loka also, being in here, what is happening there.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
He
you, Prabhuji.
mentioned here, unheard, unseen. The celebration is waiting for there for me. And he was smiling, he took the pose on that. When he paused on that, he was smiling. So because his mind is purified, he could feel that. Prabhupada say that that thing is here, like the cloud, right? The sun is there, but cloud covering that sun. The child can thinking there is no sun, but parents knows, no, this sun is there, light is there, but because of the cloud is covered. Same thing, the same thing is here also, but our mind covering that because of the contaminated nature. Once it's go away, purify mind, then we can feel here and we can see the unseen world like you mentioned that. Prabhupada mentioned clear distance, direction, and everything. How far away the Vaikuntha Loka from here, and how the Braja Nadi or some, I forget the name, how to cross that, go to the Vaikuntha Loka. Is it answer, Sudhakar?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yeah. I mean, it's comforting to know that, because our material mind always thinks about, right, its condition. Sometimes may think, okay, it's somewhere up there, and it's hard and all that. But in knowing that it's right here, right here, I think that's at least gives us a hope that it's not that difficult in one sense. Of course, it is difficult because just focusing within ourselves itself is so tough, right? So, but in one way, it is also easy because, right, it's all right here. We just need to be aware and see Krishna.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much.
That is right here, Prabhu. We see that many stories, right? Like Talgovind Prabhu says that this is the pure stage of the bhakti. Tum Krishna ke naam pe, Krishna tumhare kaam pe. We have seen that here itself. Like we see that Narsi Mehta. I was sharing with, I think, in the one of the class. He knows that his daughter going to be get married within 7 days, and his wife asked him to go to take some the borrow some money for the marriage of his daughter. He went out and he went to the near villages, and what he was doing, he forgot that the marriage of his daughter. He was hearing the katha 7 days, and during that katha, the Krishna came in his home and took the entire charge, entire responsibility. When Narsi Mehta came back and he heard that his daughter already got married, never happened before like that marriage, that opulences. So we see that this is the all giving the hope. Even we see also Braj Katha also, like how Krishna doing the personally the Leela in the Braj.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
That is here also, Prabhu, but our Krishna says that like Ekah Koranandana, Vivasayatmaka Buddhi. This is our Buddhi, our mind is Vivasayatmaka, the confused. But how to fix it? Once it's fixed, then we will see the same pleasure, same bliss here, and after going from here also. Always blissful life. If somebody wants to add, please feel free. Maybe either answer Sudhakar Prabhu or
yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. If you'll permit me, I can share Prabhupada's and different acharyas and Vaishnavas on this thing. Is the spiritual kingdom within us or is it outside us? Just as we get the example, Achintya Beda Beda Tattva, simultaneously one and different. So the easiest way to understand is that we are the spirit soul, we are a spiritual entity. And along with us, there is Paramatma, who is the plenary expansion of Vishnu, of Krishna. So that is within us. However, the Paramatma is it's Krishna, but not fully Krishna. So there is actually a physical, geographical place, so to say, with lat and long, which of course the Shastras give vivid descriptions. So there is this physical place, and it has different gradations. There are different dhams, innumerable, infinite number of dhams are there. And the highest of all this is the Goloka Dham. So there is the physical place, and then there is the spiritual world, and then we are spirit entities, formerly residents of that, and now here. So one way to see it is that within us is like a trailer of the movie, and the actual Goloka Dham is the whole movie itself. And we can experience both. So Prabhupada said simply, by attentively listening to the sound vibration, the entire purport of entire Shastras, whatever knowledge is there to be known, is revealed. Just by attentively hearing these 16 words. And that's when we can actually experience. I mean, all of us say, we are not the body, we are the soul. But self-realization brings about God realization and moving away from the material to spiritual. Hare Krishna.
Even Sudhakar Prabhu,
Thank you.
just to adding
Thank-
that we know that even Arjun asking to Krishna, right, how your dham looks like. First, Krishna give the Arjun to a state of mind, how to fix your mind here in the bhakti, and after that Arjun asking, and how your dham looks like if we go from here. Then Krishna mentioning how my dham looks like in a Chandra and a Surya. We see so many Bhagavad Gita descriptions there. Krishna himself declaring my dham, Chandra and Surya, everything self-effulgence from me.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Amritananda Prabhuji. So basically, you know, when we chant and hear, so it's like transporting, right? Transporting, not through physical material means, but through whatever the spiritual means, which probably, you know, doesn't have any time and distance associated, but that's like a transporting to a spiritual world.
Prabhu, you
So
should check out Prabhupada's small book, Easy Journey to Other Planets. It answers your question very well. If you have read it or if you don't have it, you know, go on Veda Base. I think it's on Veda Base. It's a small book.
Yeah, that is the database.
Easy journey to other planets. So there are different ways, different people. You could actually transport even the physical body. I mean, the yogis in the past used to do that. But going even beyond that. So Prabhupada has explained this process of bhakti, what you're talking about, what Jagadish Prabhu was talking about, Jagadish Simha Prabhu was talking about. So that will be very helpful.
sure, thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I haven't read that book, Prabhuji. I know that is. Yeah, I'll check that. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to add a few things, few points to that. So I think when we say spirit or spiritual journey, or where is the spiritual aspects is within us or outside, or how do we see it, how do we experience it or realize it? This is all wonderfully answered in all these aspects of it. Also, we need to understand we also have three bodies considered as scripture says that one is our gross body, then we have subtle body, then we have spiritual body. So usually the gross body is considered as our, gross, what we see it. So it's in the gross level. Then more subtle than this gross, there's another body that's called subtle body, that's mind, intelligence, and ego. Then when we come to that, the spiritual body, which is more subtle than this, subtle body, is more subtle in the sense. That's why it's difficult to overcome that, because we are contaminated and gross, and with our mind, with our senses, with our intelligence, with our false ego, with our whole body. That's why it's so covered by this material energy. So basically, this material energy is, as Krishna says, that my inferior energy, and spiritual energy or spiritual potency or the living entities are marginal potencies of the Lord, or that marginal potency is compatible with when it's come in contact with the external energy, the internal energy of the Lord, that means Antaranga Shakti of the Lord, then it is a compatible situation. Otherwise, it is an incompatible situation. That means like natural situation of a fish is water. And when it is out of the water, it suffers. So like that, when a spirit soul or a living entity comes to this stage of that understanding and realizing that spirit soul is part and parcel of the Supreme, my eternal nature is to serve that Supreme, so then it's a compatible situation. So then that is called, the natural or transcendental situation, or we are entering into the transcendental abode of the Lord. So that's a compatible situation. So like Krishna says that devotees are my nature. Devim Prakriti Masritaha. Mahatma Namstu Mambartam Devim Prakriti Masritaha. They are under my nature. So your question, Prabhuji, about that, how we, even within this world, we enter, yes, we are completely enters into that transcendental nature or spiritual nature, provided that Mahatmana, we have to come to that point of great souls. The great souls are under the Devim Prakriti, the transcendental nature. And there is, for example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a third canto and second chapter. It is mentioned that there is a remembrance of the Lord. So when Uddhava met with Mahatma Vidura, then Mahatma Vidura inquired about the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna to Uddhava. Uddhava then immediately went into trance. Just because of hearing the holy name of Krishna or the name of Krishna, Uddhava completely went into the trance. So in the Bhagavatam, which is mentioned that Bhagavan Lokan, it is considered as Bhagavan Lokan. That means the transcendental abode of the Lord. So Uddhava was here itself. Uddhava was sitting there, and Uddhava, just by remembering, just by hearing the name of Krishna, he entered into the transcendental spiritual plane immediately. So this is called Bhagavan Lokan, or transcendental abode of the Lord, for some time. Then he slowly come back to his original, this consciousness here. So which is giving us that understanding is while we are here, we can enter into the spiritual plane. So what is that spiritual plane? That when we finish come out from the relief from all our anarthas, Adho Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivurti, Nishta, Ruchi. Then once comes to that stage, Nishta and Ruchi, and then come to that once we have relieved all our anarthas, Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, Malsariya. Otherwise, like if fire is pure but it's contaminated, then it starts to give the smoke. So it's contaminated. So when we come out from it, all this Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, Malsariya, all the anarthas, then only we can even study in our Krishna consciousness. So then what happens? Then we come to that stage of develop that taste of the transcendental abode and the spiritual plane. Then we come to that stage, and there's into that's called the stage of bhav. And like most of the devotees, those who are here like pure devotees of the Lord, they experience, they feel, like many Babas in the Vrindavan, they enter into the transcendental plane and the abode of the Lord while sitting here. Narottam Das Thakur Srinivasa Acharya was 1 day, 3 days, he was in the Samadhi. Completely he enters into the abode of transcendental plane, and everybody was very much worried. And but when they touched the nose, they said there is little breathing is there. Third day, just walk up like this, I found it. So then everybody asked what happened. Srinivas Acharya was mentioning that I was meditating upon the Supreme Lord and I was entered into the transcendental plane. All on a sudden, Radharani lost her nose ring in the water. Everybody was, playing with that water. So I was searching. I was searching and searching in the water. 3 days passed. He didn't even realize. And then found it. That's why he came to his material consciousness. There are so many are out there. So when a devotee is completely, in that consciousness, come to that stage, he definitely enters into the spiritual realm. Because of this is so subtle and so spiritual, only through the spiritual process that we can enter into it. So yes, very true. When we chant the holy name, it's mentioned that we can even enter into the abode of the transcendental Lord in the plane, in the transcendental nature. And we can enter into the eternal pastime of the Lord. The pure devotion. One can enter into the, along with the Lord and enter into the Vrindavan, transcendental abode, and transcendental plane. And even it is mentioned that by chanting of the holy name and loving devotional service, one can understand his eternal group, eternal nature, his name, and his original, what kind of service he is doing, and what kind of service he is doing with this Krishna. What is his original name when he was there with the Krishna, or when he is there with the Krishna. All can be revealed by the Krishna, by the trans. That's why Krishna says that Rupa Goswami mentioned that Sevan Mukohi Chikhwadi Swayameva Spuratiyada. By the loving devotional service, one can understand all this, and one can also enter into that transcendental plane while sitting here. So it is there. It is because we don't see it, because we contaminated, our eyes are contaminated, or sense, all of everything is contaminated. That's why we don't see anything. We don't understand because we are driving through this material energy. So only by the spiritual process that we can purify ourselves and come to that, like when we touch with, like Srila Prabhupada gave an example, like an iron rod, when it is outside of the fire, it is iron rod. But when we put that into the fire, after some time, we cannot even see the difference between the iron rod and a fire. The iron rod become like a fire. And it's all the qualities of the fire. And it's become fire. And as soon as you take it out and touch a paper, it's ignite the fire. So that's what is exactly we have to be. That by this process, everybody can enter into the transcendental plane, even while sitting here. There are so many Babaji, so many, even Shyamananda Pandit entered into the spiritual abode and brought the deity of Radha Shyam Sundar in Vrindavan. And how many devotees are out there? They all entered into the transcendental plane. You remember that Madhavendra Puri, just Lord gave that complete understanding and dream that I am lying down under the bush. This all happens in the transcendental plane. Villamangalam Thakur one day went into the Bange Bihari temple. There is a temple there. Villamangalam Thakur is completely blind. So Villamangalam Thakur can see everything. Villamangalam Thakur seeing Krishna and talking to the Krishna. So one day Villamangalam Thakur went into the temple, and all the pujaris who wanted to test Villamangalam Thakur. And they asked Villamangalam Thakur, what the dress Krishna is wearing today? So they wanted to test. So immediately Villamangalam Thakur said that Krishna is just about to take bath. He's not wearing anything. So this is the transcendental plane. So we don't need any light, any ears or material senses for that. We'll all spiritualize. That is what is mentioned, that Tannatad Bhasayado Surya, Nachachangana Pavagadigatvan Anuvartande Tadhama Paramam. So one has to reach to that. It's not that, that we completely go from, take a flight. Yes, that is there. That's abode, different abode. But transcendental abode, transcendental plane, while we are here itself, we can also enter into that transcendental plane by our devotion. It purifies everything, and once it purifies everything, then we are actually in spiritual plane. So that's our journey. That's what we are all trying to do. And in fact, this material energy or material world is just a cloud within this all spiritual realm. It's a cloud within the. So basically, it's all spiritual. So all what that's why we are spiritual. Everything is spiritual, but it's a little cloud is there, little contaminated area is there. That makes us all these things. But the moment we are out of it, then we are into the spiritual plane. Just wanted to add that.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pro, giving the details.
Well, thank you. It's wonderful discussion, wonderful question, and wonderful class. Yes, that's what exactly the purpose of this class, to understand more and more about our constitutional position, our position, and what we are trying to do, what is our nature, and what to do, and all those things, right? So it helps a lot. Okay. Anything else? Anybody would like to add?
Even through I'm trying to recall, Mr. Proji, I think in Prabhupada Leelamrita, somewhere it mentioned, I don't remember the exact page number, when Prabhupada giving the class, on that day, I think the initiation was there. And Prabhupada asked the Western devotees, put the chair for Narad Muni, put the chair for these personalities, they will come.
Yeah.
And Prabhupada laughing, and they saying, why you are laughing, Prabhupada? Prabhupada says, you cannot see Narad Muni is here. He's saying that, see, you are giving the initiation or this knowledge to the person so sinful. But by your association, you are purifying everybody.
Yeah, I heard that.
Prabhupada could see the Narad Muni in that during the initiation, he came and he sit on chair. Prabhupada asked for the separate chair for those personalities.
Yeah, that's true. That's the. I heard that when there was kirtan goes on, and it's Lord Narada Dev presence. When there is a kirtan, there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu also. Wherever there is whenever and wherever there is a sankirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always present. When there is cooking by two places, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu promised before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, two places I'll be there. One is, when there is sankirtan, and then Surup Damodar when cook. That's the second time. Yes, when sometimes Srila Prabhupada go in trance, go in ecstasy and trance while speaking, while singing. So devotees ask after that, what happens to Prabhupada?
Give me a bandage.
Yeah, I see Narada Dev. Narada Dev was present. So yes, it's all very true. It's all wonderful, and we know that when Srila Prabhupada comes to the temple, Srila Prabhupada sees the smile of the Lord. When Srila Prabhupada visits the temple and tell to president of that temple and the devotees, no, Krishna is not happy here, so you have to serve nicely. And then devotees ask Srila Prabhupada, how did you know that? Yeah, I know that. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada says that why Krishna is thin, you have to feed nicely. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada said that why Krishna is, you're feeding him too much. That there is a tailor in a Jew temple. So he's a Muslim. He stitches the clothes for the Krishna, the deities at the Juhu, Radha Ras Bihari. So every time when there is a need for stitching the garments for Krishna, and he goes there and take measurements personally. And devotees ask, you have measurements every time. Why you need to take every time? So this devotee says that, every time it's different. It's different that even the deities is different. So sometimes it's little changes into the measurement. Sometimes, we have to always So because of he has that, because he is acting on the spiritual plane. Srila Prabhupada was acting on the spiritual plane. Many devotees, they comes to this ecstasy. That's why this Ashtaswatika Vikar. When a person, a devotee into the spiritual plane, he has this vikar, he has the symptoms of 8 symptoms. Sometimes we stunned. Stamba is called stamba. We stunned, we cannot move. Sometimes our voice choked. Sometimes our throat dried up. Sometimes tears comes out. Sometimes we shiver. Sometimes we shout in loud voice. Sometimes, completely stunned everything. Cannot move anything and faints down. So many devotees faints down. So many devotees cry like anything. So these are the symptoms that a devotee enters into that spiritual plane. So when a person on his material plane, it doesn't happen. A devotee matures and develop that and such a love, and that's where happens. The devotee developed by the spontaneous love, by sadhana, those are the sadhana bhakti. Then from the sadhana, then why the sadhana bhakti regulated? Then it comes to the develop from there to the raganuga bhakti. Then raganuga bhakti develop from there, raga, spontaneous love for the Lord, and then develop that. Then it comes to the stage of the bhava. When a devotee comes to the stage of bhav, he's not really on the material plane. He's on the spiritual plane. So then the next stage is called the prema. That's where one goes to the Golok Vrindavan. Prema stage is the ultimate stage with the Supreme. Yeah, it's so wonderful. It's a wonderful science. So that's our greatest fortune. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealed all this with and exemplified and revealed all this. And those who are in association with the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu abundantly gives this prema bhakti, gives this one who is faithful, completely serve the Supreme, naturally can come to this. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult to come to this stage of bhava and prema. But by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one can come to that level. When there is a mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then one gets the mercy of Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani recommends, yes, then he gets the entrance to the abode, the Golok Vrindavan. So yes, from here, we can enter into the Golok Vrindavan. So that's a wonderful and very higher stage of that pure devotion. One can enter like that. We know that Tukaram Maharaj, many of you know that what happened to Tukaram Maharaj. Not just 300 years back, 700, 1700, maybe like 350, 400 years. Tukaram Maharaj just went like that. The Lord came down with the chariot. And Tukaram, everybody was looking at it. Tukaram Maharaj just disappeared in the airplane of the Supreme Lord because of he's completely spiritualized. Both the spiritual and there is no difference for Tukaram Maharaj. So when we don't have that difference, a devotee is only that one can have that difference when you come to this stage by purified. All this various, this Sravana Kirtana, Vishnu Smarana, Padasevana, Archana, Vandana, Dasi, Sakya, Atma Nivedana, all this wonderful loving devotion, then one comes to that stage. And then, sincere effort, and we should have sincere effort to come to that stage. And then one can, go back. And as Krishna Bhavada says that, go back to Godhead, go back. So this is what it is. Go back means completely spiritualize ourselves, come to that spiritual plane. And then, like always gives this example of like how the butter comes from the milk and the yogurt. Once it's become the churn, the butter, now it cannot go back to a butter or a buttermilk or a milk or a yogurt or anything. So, but that's supreme of it. So our nature is also like that. We have spiritual, we have spirit, soul, we have spirit. Our nature is, transcendental and spiritual. All we need to do is just churn and come to that stage. Then we are in spiritual. We are completely in spiritual. Yeah. Okay. I think it's. Yeah. Okay. Any other comments or anything else anybody would like to add? There's a wonderful question, Rajesh Nagar Prabhu. It was so wonderful that, this gives pretty much the essence of all our scriptures, But there is also a confusion. Always remember that, right? And like Aham Brahmasmi and Tattvamasi, so many things are out there, but that's in a very, very deeper level, that. So, but for us, our Acharyas gives this wonderful understanding of, what is spiritual and what is material and how we can attain that spiritual by the process of loving devotional service. One can enter and do. That's all we need to know. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else would like to add? Jagadish Simha Pr, thing to add?
No, Prabhuji, I think 8:50 already.
Okay.
So we can conclude it. Prabhuji.
Good. Okay. Very good. Yeah. Also, I think Paramananda Chaitanya Prabhu is here. We have a book distribution rollout. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, I was gonna say that. So
yeah.
I don't know. I if you want to continue with this, it's already late. I just want to request if all devotees, if they are available over the weekend, please join us for the book distribution.
What
So
time? Which day?
On Sunday we have it around. Yeah, because Saturday is raining, so
okay,
we'll be out distributing books at the Oak Tree Road in Apna Bazaar.
Okay, wonderful.
So I'll be sending out the invite.
Okay.
Prabhu, if I can just share with you the book distribution team. As part of an outreach, we are going to, now that the weather is getting better, so we're going to be starting kirtans in a variety of public parks in Piscataway, South Plainfield, Edison, in and around the temple area. So we used to do this several years ago, Kalpa and team. So just keep a small book table with the simple books, because there'll be a lot of newcomers and not necessarily from the Indian community. In fact, it will be mostly non-Indians. So these little books, so giving you a heads up, as and when that happens, then maybe one or two devotees of the Sankirtan team can do this Kirtan in the Park program.
Sure,
and we can keep our books over there.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Yeah, sure. We have books in other language. We also have book in Spanish, Bhagavad Gita in Spanish, and yoga book in Spanish. So there are books out there, but yes, we, like you said, we'll keep the basic ones out, the main ones, and we'll take it from there.
Very good.
So just keep us. I'm sure you'll send out the.
A WhatsApp group will be there created for the Kirtan in the Park teams. Whoever wants to join. So I'll put you, Simeshwar Prabhu, and others in that. That we'll get the update what's happening there.
Do you plan to do it over the weekends, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Prabhu. It'll happen typically on Saturday or Sunday, depends on how many people we get. So our main resource is the youth group, the Kirtanias. And of course, others also. Even the adults and seniors, everyone can join in.
Very nice initiative, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah.
Take a
What time on Sunday? 12 o'clock, Prabhuji? British
Yes,
Vision?
Prabhuji. 12 o'clock at Apna Bazaar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Very nice. Yeah, we were also thinking same line, Udanda Prabhu, here on the Plainsboro Park. We used to do that before COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah, very nice. Various places, various locations. Not in one place. Different places. Schedule it accordingly so that devotees can join. Yeah, very nice. Okay.
Very good, Prabhu. So we can bring it to a close.
Yeah.
Today it was a great discussion.
Yeah. Okay. So so then Ajit Manor Prabhu, anything you would like to add or have any?
No problem. But only things that probably we need to have the small books. If I will check the inventory this week in the temple go down, and we'll calculate that if we have to order more.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. Let us know that. I think we are going to put an order. We need some more books. I think many devotees are also requesting the other books. Chaitanya Charitamrita in various other languages.
Yes, Prabhuji. Important, Prabhuji, the small books we need.
Yeah.
I think the bigger books we have, the small books important that we should have in inventory. I will check the Prabhuji this week and go down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Okay. So anything else?
Do we need the frames? Have you bought, or I will bought it here Saturday and will bring?
Yeah, you can bring it, Prabhu. I haven't.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I will arrange, Prabhu. I will arrange them. I got some more varieties of the frames now.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else, Parvanda?
I think that's it for now, Prabhuji. Like I said, I'll send out the invite.
Oh, yeah, please do.
Sure.
And from our side, like the team liking to the door to door, so we will continue this.
Continue that. Continue, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kirtan, the door to door, and the storefront and park. There's summer, right? So many ways that we can, distribute books.
And we also encourage devotees, as many can come join us. It's a wonderful service. We all advance in Krishna consciousness, distributing books.
Okay, so nothing else, then let's conclude.
Yeah. Panchakalpatrubhyascha.
Namo Namaha.
Vrind ki
Jai.
Jai. Ananda Kodi Vaishnava ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Premanande.
Hari Hari.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jagdish.
Jagadish Simha Pr.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.